Before we continue, I want to give huge thanks to Monday.com for sponsoring today's video.
Monday.com WorkOS is a powerful platform to run all of your work and create any workflow.
And now they recently launched a new feature called Monday Work Docs. It's a totally different kind of doc built for real-time collaboration. Work Docs is basically what I use every day to keep track of all of my projects with my editors and my manager. It's also where I keep track of my inventory for my mouse pads. What I love most about this is the real-time engine. It allows all of us to communicate and work simultaneously without overwriting each other. All text is architectured as blocks. This means you can add Monday widgets to your work doc and connect the data within the blocks. So let's say, for example, I want a team member to quickly share the current inventory of my mouse pads so all of us can see it on the work doc. Well, all he has to do is add my inventory board to the work docs itself. Everything is so quick and seamless, which is amazing. You can even select from over 40 built-in widgets to add a visual element to your docs. Monday Work Docs has really helped me become more efficient and improved my overall workflow.
And now you can too by having your docs in the same ecosystem as the rest of your work and living docs that always stay updated.
So if you guys need to step up your overall productivity and workflow, then you gotta check these guys out. Just for my subscribers, you guys can get a full month of Monday.com for free if you use my link down below. Kicking off the episode is Alex from Manchester, UK, and his topo-themed setup. This is definitely the first time I've seen an entire setup dedicated to the popular topography design. The total setup evolution time was about 3 years to get to this point, and the purpose is for just gaming and streaming. We got dual 27-inch monitors hooked up against the wall, and below that we got the M Pro 2 in white with 2 different keycap sets and the Logitech G Pro X as the mouse. My guy even custom designed his own topo mousepad just for this theme. Nice. Looks like he kept things very minimal on the surface. We got both an iPad Air and a docking station for his phone and a smartwatch on the other side. One thing that might look really nice in your setup is a faceplate for your Elgato Stream Deck. Apparently Elgato made a bunch of different faceplates for the MK2, and personally I think the circuit design would look great in your setup and it will complement the topo design nicely too. For gaming, he puts on the DT990 Pros, but mostly uses the Logitech speakers for everyday tasks, which he has also skinned in white for a bit of consistency. Nice. The boom arm is actually in a very interesting location, but I guess it works. It's got a pretty long reach since you could drop it over the PC like that. Speaking of which, Alex built a really nice custom PC inside the LAN Cool 2. We got some cable extensions, a custom GPU backplate to complement the setup's color scheme. Very nice. But why didn't you just route the RGB cable through the back of the case instead of the front? Also, for those wondering why the specs are a bit unbalanced inside the PC, it's because Alex is waiting to cop an RTX 3080, hence why he's using a high-end 12-core CPU with a mid-tier GPU. Nonetheless, a pretty sweet setup to start off the show. Thank you, Alex, for sharing this with us. Up next is Anthony, coming all the way from Norway to show off his awesome triple display setup that he uses for gaming, school, and music production. It took him almost 3 years to get it to this point. However, it does need a little bit more work. The first thing I'm sure that's on everyone's mind is how uneven the monitors are, mostly because he has only 2 mounted against the desk while the third one isn't. A simple fix to this would be obviously to buy a mount that supports all 3 monitors, or if you want to save money, just buy a single cheap budget mount instead for the left one. This will not only help align both monitors together, but more importantly, you can shift all the monitors to the left, creating additional space for your PC. That way it doesn't hang off the edge like that. For peripherals, he's rocking a SteelSeries Apex Pro keyboard paired with a Model O mouse. And then for audio, we got the HyperX Cloud 2 headphones with the Quadcast microphone. Now the PC power in the setup is a beauty. We got the Ryzen 7 3700X paired with an RTX 3060 Ti. It might not take full advantage of the 240Hz monitor on some of the more demanding titles, but overall it's a nicely balanced build. And that's pretty much it for this setup. There is a wall shelf up top holding up his Funko Pop collection, but other than that, it's a pretty simple and straightforward setup. Thank you, Anthony, for sharing this with us. Coming in at number 3 is Cameron from Tennessee and his pretty sweet dual monitor setup. We have a popular Carly countertop and Alex unit combo for this type of setup, but because the wood is a bit more on the darker side, it doesn't quite work with the setup's color scheme and sticks out way too much. I think going with a lighter Carly would have looked much nicer and would have complemented the wall shelves up top as well. It took Cameron a total of 6 months to complete the setup for the purpose of watching YouTube, light studying, and of course gaming. The right monitor is the main display that he games on because of the higher pixel count and refresh rate, while the secondary 27-inch is mostly for multitasking. He mounted both monitors against the wall with those beautiful 3D art panels that he picked up from Amazon, but he made sure to make cutouts around the mounting point, and he even routed some of the cables underneath the panels as well, which I didn't even know was possible. I guess since the panels are 3D cut, there is some space behind them to route cables. I've said it before and I'll say it again, you guys, these 3D art panels are a very easy and cool way to add a unique look to your setup. They come in black and white with a variety of different designs you can choose from, but what I haven't seen yet are custom painted ones. You know, it'd be really cool to see someone paint the white ones in a different color for their setup. In any case, if you guys want to check these panels out, I'll leave a link below. So moving on to peripherals, we got the Drop Alt keyboard with cherry browns paired with the Model O gaming mouse. There are no speakers for the setup, but he does own an Arctis 7 gaming headset that he stores on the back side of his PC. Speaking of which, it is a beautiful, beefy custom build inside the Corsair 680X, and damn is it packed with some serious specs. We got the i9 10850K 10-core processor that he overclocked to 5.3 GHz, and he paired that with the Gigabyte RTX 3080. What a beast. Such an awesome PC and an awesome setup he put together here. Thank you, Cameron, for sharing this with us. Now here's a setup that actually looks really good with a darker wooden countertop. We do have a less vibrant setup with darker colors, so it complements the countertop a lot better. I've always said this in the past, the desk is the foundation for the entire setup. It all starts there. So getting the right size, the right color, and even the style is detrimental to the setup's function and form. I've noticed that a lot of people go with a smaller desk in the beginning when they start out thinking it's enough, but then soon after they upgrade their setup within a year and are forced to use the same small desk. This results to a bunch of gear crammed on such a small surface. I've seen it a lot on Setup Wars. So here's a little bit of a tip for you guys out there that want to build a setup in the near future. It's always a good idea to go with something a little bigger in the beginning to have room for future expandability, unless you are certain that you won't be upgrading your setup for a long time, which, let's face it, is the biggest lie. I can see that Chris went with the perfect size table for this setup. It's large enough for all 3 monitors, and there's even space for his PC. Looks like he drilled a hole in the desk to pass through the keyboard and mouse cable. Now, if you want to cover up that hole, you can probably paint one of these wood grommets I found on Amazon and stain them just like you did with the countertop, so it blends in a lot better. I actually just noticed this now, but the giant painting on the wall isn't actually a painting. It's a blank whiteboard that's being projected on. It kind of doubles as a screen to watch movies on and a dynamic video wallpaper when not in use. Chris can project any type of video or image on it when he's not watching content. A pretty cool idea. Moving on to cable management, looks like they are decently managed. You know, there was definitely some effort put in here by mounting the power strip underneath the desk, so I can't really complain. The black and blue acoustic panels, however, actually work pretty well with this setup, as they aren't obtrusive while staying consistent with the color scheme. And this of course leads us to the PC powering it all. It is a custom loop featuring the Ryzen 5 3600X and an RTX 2060 Super. I don't think I've ever seen someone put a water block on the Ryzen 5 3600X, but the fact that you put in a half loop inside the Corsair 220 T case is pretty damn impressive. Just like the setup you have here. Thank you, Chris, for sharing this with us. What if Leonardo da Vinci built a setup in 2021? What would it look like? Well, it will look a little something like this. A true work of art by Zvezdan from Austria. I am just in love with this presentation. I believe this is his 3rd time on the show. Since episode 227, he has made some noteworthy changes. The biggest change to the setup was the desk size. He expanded it with a larger surface to make room for an ultra-wide monitor while still having extra space for his custom PC. I actually really liked the desk he was using, so I'm glad to see that he still kept the same one. It kind of looks like this really cool modern piece of art that belongs in a museum. The new setup still has the same purpose for gaming and entertainment, but now he does all of that on a 34-inch ultrawide from LG that he skinned for that extra consistency. Below that, we got the Corsair K95 Platinum keyboard and the M65 mouse combo with beautiful cable management. I mean, you won't be able to find a single cable in this setup. Everything is done with such precision, it's insane. Cables are all hidden inside raceways, and the raceways themselves also blend in the setup. Beautiful, beautiful work. It does look like he upgraded the Logitech speakers to something more fitting. The Luna Eclipse E25 HDs, which not only sound better, but also fit beautifully with the setup's theme. He also built himself a brand new custom PC. Well, aside from using the same processor, it looks like he upgraded everything else. He slapped in an Asus Strix RTX 3080 in white and used a new case. I gotta say, some of my favorite mods in here are the vinyl work. He skinned some parts of the motherboard, we got the AIO pump, and he even skinned the PCI cable extensions in carbon fiber. What? The level of dedication here is just insane. And by the way, I do appreciate the effort you put in these high quality pics of your PC. It doesn't matter how you look at this setup, it is a work of art in every single angle. I love the fact that Zvezdan expresses his love for The Witcher without shoving it in your face. With a million collectibles and paintings, it's subtle yet effective. Same with the lighting, it is perfectly balanced and not overdone. You know, I might be overthinking here as well, but I feel like he went with LifeX beam specifically because it complements the shape of the desk perfectly. I also love the fact that the setup can transform so seamlessly because of the neutral colors. I mean, it looks just as good in the dark as it does during the day. And it isn't just a setup that looks like it belongs in a museum. In fact, his entire home is decorated with the same modern and minimalistic theme. I feel like this guy can be a really good interior decorator. What can I say? I love his style. Man's got taste. This is how you take an already amazing setup and perfect it. Zvezdan, I hope that's how you say your name, otherwise I've been butchering it this entire time. This was a long time coming, my guy, but it is finally time to award your hard work and dedication. This setup is nothing short of a masterpiece, and just like your checklist says, you hit all the criteria with flying colors. Congrats on taking home the 31st seal of approval, my guy. DM me on Discord to claim your plaque. Exceptional, exceptional work, my friend. As a reminder, you guys can always pick up a cheap Windows CD key for less than $15. Just click on my link below and use the code TS20 for an extra 20% off. Once you get your CD key, just visit the activation settings in Windows and change your product key. It's that simple. And that will do it for today's video. As always, make sure you guys comment below. Let me know which of these setups was your absolute favorite. If you guys are enjoying Season 5 of Setup Wars, as all, maybe consider tossing a like before you head out. And if you're new here, consider subscribing because I host Setup Wars every single Monday. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon in the next one. Wow, I wasn't recording this entire freaking time. Unbelievable.